Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're parking at Queen Elizabeth Country Park and heading up to Butser Hill, Ramsdean Down and Rake Bottom. It's around a 2-hour walk, very frosty, but looking forward to this one. So this is part of the South Downs Way, and it's the highest point on the South Downs Way, Butser Hill. But yeah, I'll tell you more about that when we get up the top. So this big flat area that's at the bottom of Butser Hill runs for quite a space. This used to all be heathland, but during the Second World War it was all ploughed and cleared for growing crops as part of the war effort. Nowadays on these slopes you're more likely to see grazing livestock. It's a place where you very often see sheep and cows grazing, and at the top there's very often horses. For that reason, any of you dog walkers out there, you have to keep your dog on a lead on this bit, as you do at most of this area. So Butser Hill is located in the boundaries of Queen Elizabeth Country Park. In 1971 they merged. The name Butser actually comes from Old English and means bright slope or flat topped hill or steep slope, which I can attest to.
Steep.
We're about 3/4 of the way up now. You can see just in between there's a cloud inversion. That there is called War Down. During Roman times, that was a clear top, and the Romans made a settlement because you could see Chichester Harbour, so a good vantage point. Most prominent today on Butser Hill is the communications aerial tower that stands on its peak, only just off of the summit. We'll get a closer look at that in a second. So Butser Hill is one of the highest points in Hampshire at 271 metres, only beaten by Black Down, which is the highest point. Also qualifies as one of England's Marilyns. Sitting in the low fog behind me here you can see Petersfield, which is the closest town and rail link to Butser Hill and Queen Elizabeth Country Park. Sure is a cold one up here today. So we're going to have a little walk out to what's known as Little Butser, and it's where the ancient farm used to be. So it's just a short walk off the top, come down a grassy footpath, and through a gate and over onto Little Butser. It's well worth the detour. Yes, that was Little Butser anyway. Well worth the little trundle down the hill to it. Beautiful day to be out. So we're almost at the top now. It's quite a steep pull from Little Butser back up onto the main ridge. And I think we're both feeling Christmas has taken our fitness and kicked it into touch. Back up onto the plateau now.
So as you can see, just over in the distance, just above the fog, we've got Ashford Hanger, and then just below it you've got Little Butser, where we were just a second ago. Very beautiful. You can hear the A3 off back in the distance, I'm sure. Just beyond that you've got Petersfield, just below in the fog, and then just above there you've got Ramsdean Down. That's where we were in one of our previous videos. If you want to have a look at that, I'll pop a link to it up there somewhere.
Yeah, so from Little Butser, it's just a flat plateau that runs across the top. And now we're going to head over to Ramsdean Down, which is on the north side of Butser Hill. What a day to be out. This inversion, don't get these down south too often. Might just be low fog, but I'm going to call it an inversion. The two things that you often see up here at Butser Hill are hang gliders, and every year in the summer months there's a foul running competition where competitors have to run 3 times from top to bottom. Once is enough, I think. So we're just walking down the slope of Ramsdean Down, and over in the distance there looks to be some Highland cows, which we'll go and have a look at, much to Kate's disgust. The Highland cows are in town, you've got to go and have a look, haven't you? So if you head north over Butser Hill, you'll come to Ramsdean Down. With its steep slopes of grass and chalk, it's quite a haul to walk up there. As we head off the top, we'll come to the gorge bottom, which officially on maps is called Rake Bottom, but locally it's known as Grandfather's Bottom. So Butser Hill is a great place to bring the children as well. We've brought our girls up here since they were 2 or 3 years old. Now being teenagers, walking's the last thing they want to do. And on the rare occasion that we do get snow down south, you'll find the car parks and all the roads to Butser Hill full as people try and sledge down. So as you come off the top of Ramsdean, this is the way you want to go if you want to go to Rakes Bottom. We are going to go in there and have a little look, but then we're going to come back out and head up this pathway, which takes you back up onto the high slopes where the Highland cows are. So let's go. Proper winter wonderland down here today. So this is Rakes Bottom. We just had to land the drone due to that bird of prey there. It's absolutely enormous. I'm not quite sure what it is. It's probably going to look like a little dot on this, but you can see him sat up on that branch there. You get red kites in this little valley quite often. I'm actually filming this bit on my iPhone, but it's about as far in as I can zoom without the footage becoming unusable. right down in the grandfather's bottom, you've got this plantation of trees. If anyone watching knows what the history is with these, I'd be really interested to find out. They've definitely been planted. They're huge, great beech trees as well. Yeah, so I could imagine like they were like druid gatherings or something happening inside here. They're definitely planted in a great big square. Google will know. You can see the line of the frost. So as you walk around Butser Hill and Queen Elizabeth Country Park, you'll see that there have been many new pathways laid and all new signage. That was all part of a £260 million initiative back in 2021 to renovate some of the worn paths and signage. It's quite a pool up here. So the frost line you can see much more prominently up here, sticking low to the valley bottom. So at the top of that hill, come through another metal gate and you're back on to the upslope to Butser Hill, which is where the Highland cows are. Let's go take a look. There's probably about 20 Highland cows here. Absolutely beautiful. So what an absolute treat that was to get that close to Highland cows. Obviously don't see them too often down in the south coast, but they're not scatty like dairy cows. They're quite happy for you to be near them. Obviously don't go make any sudden moves. Even Kate.
Even I got close.
She had a bit of the ganders. Such beautiful animals. Well, like I say, I'm glad it's frozen up here. The only downside to having cows and horses is they churn up the ground, make it so muddy. Top of Butser Hill, we now have ponies. They look very much like the Dartmoor ponies. I'm not sure if they are. They're in excellent condition, beautiful. So I think you'll agree, Butser Hill has quite a lot to offer for its very wildlife, miles of farm fields, and today we were treated to a temperature inversion. At the top there's a little cafe where you can grab hot and cold bites, and more importantly, coffee. It's around 5 miles to do the track and takes around 2 hours. But yeah, definitely one that we'd recommend. And there's plenty of parking down at Queen Elizabeth Country Park, or you can come and park at Butser Hill, but I'll talk about the parking situation as we head back down. We're going to sit and enjoy our coffee. This pathway here that you can see is actually the old road that used to run to London. Incredible, really. So before the A3 was built, which is the main road from Portsmouth to London, actually one of the busiest roads in the country, this pathway here was the main road. And there's the new road to London, the A3.
So as as you come up Butser, there's two paths that come up. There's one on the west path, which we came up on the way in. As we're doing a loop today, we've gone up, over, down, back up again. We're coming down the eastern side. So you can't go wrong, just carry on straight down, back under the flyover, back into the car park, Queen Elizabeth Country Park. Beautiful.
This pathway is actually part of the South Downs Way. Takes you up through Queen Elizabeth Country Park and over to Harting Down. So after you come off the grassy slopes of Butser Hill, you walk under this flyover, which is actually the A3 above it. Yes, there's plenty of parking at Queen Elizabeth Country Park. Prices have actually gone up a fair bit here. It's £8 for 4 hours, which in all honesty, to do anything of any meaning there, you'd probably need that. We actually go in with my uncle and get a yearly pass. I think it's £35 for the year because we half it. You can come as many times as you want. So if you live local, it's well worth doing that, even for the £70. Also, it is card only, no coins. So like most places are now, to be fair. See this pond here, still completely frozen over, and it's now midday. Certainly been a cold one. Yeah, down here at Queen Elizabeth Country Park, they've got quite a lot of stuff for bikers to do, of all ages. This is actually going to be one of our next video, Queen Elizabeth Country Park, so keep your eye open for that one. There's loads of lovely walks around here. But as for today's walk, we're now back at the car. So we bid you farewell. Stay safe out there and enjoy the outdoors. See you on the next one.